Yesterday I got a big wake-up call. I thought I was the leader, the competitor, the example. But one fitness test and a team-building exercise made me realize I was lying to myself. If I don't change now, I never will. Hi guys, I'm Coach G, Gert Steenkamp. I'm a former international rugby. Played for South Africa, won a World Cup in 2007 and won various titles in my career as a rugby player. Yesterday changed everything for me. It was supposed to be a fun team building event, doing the Bronco test and the high rocks session with our players and our staff. It turned out to be a massive tragedy. It started out in the morning when I got onto the scale and I weighed myself, and I had a massive surprise. My heart sunk. I was weighing 125 kgs. I knew that I picked up some weight going to the test match in Dublin, watching the French beat the Irish. But honestly, I didn't think I picked up that much. I knew preparing for the Bronco test, it was going to be tough. It was going to be hard. Carrying that extra weight, mind games already started. I started making excuses. My personal PB was 5:35 as a coach. I was feeling anxious about my injury. More than 2 months ago, I injured my calf. I was hesitant. I started saying to myself, I'm not going to push myself. I'm not going to go too hard. I can't take a risk because I want to play paddle, because that's what I'm passionate about at the moment. I started to lower my standards before even starting. I was stressed out before attempting the Bronco test. So for those of you who don't know what a Bronco test is, it's repeated shuttles, which we use in rugby. I'll share a bit more in the description. The reality check. So there I started my Bronco. I was flying off, had a good start. But as I was getting halfway through the test, I could feel my legs were heavy. My lungs were fine, but I couldn't go faster. And I quickly realized that I wouldn't be able to beat my previous personal best of 5 minutes and 35 seconds, which was something which I was proud of. The last time that I ran the Bronco was in the beginning of a season, in the pre-season. And when I completed that Bronco, I was cheered on by the players and by the staff. I was proud of my efforts. I felt that sense of accomplishment. And as I finished the Bronco, that extra weight that I was carrying was holding my back. I knew I wasn't going to beat my personal best. So I had one goal that I wanted to achieve, was hit sub 6 minutes. When I finished that 6 minutes, there was nobody cheering. I got the odd high five. I was broken. I was demoralized. I was mad at myself. This was not me, and this is not who I am. My day was not over. The next event was the High Rocks event. So as a team, players and staff, we all formed different groups, and we had 8 stations. So I was looking forward because it's the salt bike, it's the skier, it's the rower. There was some running, there was some weights, but I was horrible. This should have been my forte. I should have been a leader in the pack. I should have set the example. But I just couldn't. My body couldn't. That's when I realized how out of shape I am. And I'm sharing this with you, not to get pity or for you to feel sorry with you. This is what we're trying to do on the Lessons from the Game podcast. Share our authentic selves. I remember going for the run. And as I was running, one of my colleagues was encouraging me. And it made me so mad. So mad. Because normally I was the one doing the encouraging in the past. I was the one setting the example. And I felt like dead weight. I felt like dead weight. Whenever the team had to select 4 guys to run, they wouldn't select. I only ran twice. But there were also other exercises where I felt weak, where I felt vulnerable. I was mad at myself. I was angry. I practically train every day. This is not who I am. This is not who I want to be. This trigger event, as I like to call it, made me realize. When I got injured 2 months ago, I was so worried about not getting injured again. I was obsessed with doing my rehab. But without realizing, what I've been doing was letting go of my good habits. I started developing poor habits. I started training with less intensity. I have not been pushing myself the way I should have. I was holding myself back. And what was the result? Started picking up weight. I started eating snacks here and there. I started eating things I should not be eating. I stopped respecting my fasting, my intermittent fasting. My evening routines changed. Obviously, I've been obsessed lately with launching this podcast turning it into success. And by the way, thank you for guys for supporting us on this podcast. Myself and Ben are super, super thankful for that. I've been deep diving into different ways to create exposure for the podcast. I've been looking at different formats for the podcast. So I've been going down a spiral, going down this rabbit hole where I'm on YouTube, trying to upskill myself, learn stuff and doing research. And I can't switch off at night. So I started going to bed late. I started sleeping less. Started developing poor habits, which had an impact in my daily routine. I also started to do unintentional scrolling on social media, something which I didn't do in the past. In the past, I used to have a routine. Debrief my day, wind down, get my gear ready for the following day, and get to bed, listen to a podcast or read a book. Now, all of a sudden, I've been going down this negative spiral, being on social media and spending time here on YouTube, which is great, by the way. But there's a time and place for everything. So a while back, I created this vision for me. Obviously, there's certain things that I want to achieve as a coach, as a human being, and also as a dad, a father, and husband. But one of the key part of that vision was becoming fit, strong, and focused. Being a former rugby player, it's important for me to feel strong, to feel good. But most importantly, I wanted to make sure that my energy levels were right up there so that I can execute my task as a rugby coach with precision and also level up in other areas of my life. I quickly realized this is not who I am. I'm not happy with myself. I'm sharing that with you guys because I want you guys to learn from my mistakes and learn from my experience. I call this the trigger event. We all have a trigger event at certain times in our lives or in our careers. You have a choice to make. You can either fight, flight, or freeze. I love that. You can either stay in a fight, make change, be different, move forward. And the trigger event is that moment, an event that happens, makes you realize that you're not on track. It makes you realize you need to change. You need to do something different. You need to change your course. You need to do things better. I remember previous trigger points in my career. In 2006, when I was injured just before the World Cup, weighing 142 kgs, I needed to make a change, otherwise I wouldn't go to the World Cup. In 2009, I got dominated in the scrum and almost ended my Springbok career. I made a decision. I changed. I worked hard. And in 2014, my international career came to end due to a poor performance, and my club wanted to get rid of me. I needed to shift quickly. I needed to pivot. Yesterday was that event for me, a trigger event. Last year, I made the decision to level up my performance as a coach, to level up my performance as a human being, becoming fit, strong, and focused, and also putting other projects into motion, launching this podcast, the lessons from the game. I was upset yesterday. I was disappointed with myself. I felt embarrassed. Does that sound familiar? Maybe at some stage of life, that's how you felt. That's okay. We can change. Because yesterday, I made a decision to do things differently. I'm not a perfect human being. That is why I'm sharing this with you. I want you guys to learn from my experiences. I want you to learn from my mistakes. And I also want you guys to know that you're not alone. I'm now at the crossroads. I have a decision to make. Either I can continue like I have been the last few months, going through the motions. No, I'm going to step up to the line. I'm going to do things different. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to move better. I'm going to become fitter and stronger. I'm going to be consistent in my efforts. Why do I want to do that? Because I want to inspire people. I want to impact people. I want to have this reserve of energy so I can be productive, that I can not only be the best coach in my field, but also launching the podcast, launching other products, putting my energy into other areas of my life. That's always been my goal when I'm doing things on social media, is to inspire those around me, to impact people. I'm doing this because I want to be proud of myself. I want my family to be proud of me. And that's why I need to change. I need to shift quickly and change gears. When these trigger events happen, it's always important to make sure you know why you want to change. You need to put purpose behind the madness. Whenever I get stuck or whenever I'm in a rut, I always remind myself of my why. The why is important, is your purpose for living, is your purpose for working. I want to inspire people. I want to provide for my family. And I always make sure that I remind myself what my why is. So now you need a plan. So what I'll be doing is I'm going to be revisiting my vision. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Am I aligned with where I need to be? What do I need to change? What do I need to adjust? I'll be revisiting my vision. Number 2, I'll be setting clear intentions. Why do I want to do this? What's the reason behind it? And number 3, I'm going to create a plan. Workout plan, nutrition plan. I'm going to start organizing my week, putting in certain working blocks, training blocks, time for myself, learning blocks. I'm going to level up my organization and my planning for the week. I'm going to be focusing on my nutrition, getting that right, speaking to colleagues as well, helping me to give me extra sessions, weight training, cardio training, make sure that I have a balanced training regime so that I can also play well in battle. I'm passionate about battle. Not the best battle player, but I can hold my own. I'll set out clear milestones and goals that I want to achieve over the next few weeks, over the next few months. Because if you don't have goals, if you don't have certain milestones that you're working towards, it can be tough. Otherwise, you'll be working like a headless chicken. The other key thing is being consistent in my efforts. I'll make sure that I'm consistent, because if you're consistent in your efforts, you can achieve something great. Sometimes it takes a bit longer to achieve certain goals, but if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to put in the graft, it will pay off. It will pay off. And the other thing that I'll be doing is tracking my progress. So recently, I discovered the method of bullet journaling. It's brilliant. It's unbelievable. I've been doing it for the last 3 weeks, and it allows me to keep track of what I'm doing. Where am I investing my time? And I would also advise you guys to keep a quest log. You can just have a blank Google Doc on your computer and track the time where you're investing your time. Okay, I know I've been talking a lot. Key thing is that you want to make sure is, why am I doing this? Why do I want to change? I'm not doing this for six packs. I'm not doing this for aesthetics. It's not about taking topless photos. I will never have a six pack. I'm doing this because I want to take care of my own mental well-being. I'm doing this because I want to inspire those around me. I want to inspire you watching this video. I am a coach. I'm Coach G. That's who I am. When I was a rugby player, when I was out there on the battlefield, I would lead by example, lead by action. I would inspire the troops, motivate the troops. And that's exactly what I want to achieve. And that's why Ben and myself, we are so committed to the Lessons from the Game podcast. So this is my day 1, 12 March. Yesterday, I weighed 125.6 kgs. Today, I weighed 123.7 kgs. So I'm going to be doing my best to share my journey with you and help you guys along the way. So if you are struggling at the moment, please, in the comment section, share your trigger events. Share your story with me. Join me on this journey. Let's keep each other accountable. So if you like this video, please like it, subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends. But most importantly, stay accountable. All right, guys, I'm Coach G. I hope you guys are doing well. Wish you all of the best wherever you are in the world. Ciao.